Good morning and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I both invite and encourage you to walk with me on the road to wisdom. Come on, y'all. Let's walk. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is February the 2nd, 2024. I'm your host, Danny Graham, and I welcome you to another edition of the Road to Wisdom. First of all, I want to apologize for not uploading my show on Wednesday. Something happened the night before when I usually record the night before and then upload it, but something happened Tuesday night that had my full attention, and by the time I got home, it was really, really late, and I just fell asleep and wasn't able to do it. But again, I apologize for that. That doesn't really happen a lot because I'm thinking a lot of these shows, and I think a lot of trying to get material out for y'all to watch and consume and to digest. But again, I'm here today and with another episode. The episode I should have done Wednesday, but I'm going to do it today. And let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, the topic right here is: do you have a snake in your circle? Good question. Do you have a snake in your circle? The question I want to ask you also, in addition to that, is: are people are they your friends or are they snakes? Or do you have friends, or are your friends truly your friends, or do you have a snake or two in your circle? God, I hope you don't. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Definition of friend is a person who one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Say it one more time. A friend is a person who one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Basically, friends, somebody you know that you trust, you have a connection, affection, you care for one another, but sex not involved and you're not family. You're just someone that gets along and someone that you trust and you totally vibe with. And if you get a true blue friend, that's something that you keep for a life. For a life. I definitely agree with that. Um, Snake. Definition of snake. And it's not the animal that crawls around on the belly. So for this particular topic, the snake in this is going to be defined as a treacherous or deceitful person. Someone who is treacherous and deceitful. That is the definition of the snake that I'm talking about in today's topic. Um, the scripture comes from the book of Proverbs, and it reads, it's come from the 25th chapter, 19th verse, and it is: putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. Let me say it one more time. Book of Proverbs, 25th chapter, the 19th verse reads as follows: putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. It's going to cause a whole lot of pain because when we are in trouble, we desire someone in whom we are confident in. All right. You want somebody that we're confident in. You don't want somebody that when the chips are down or when the rubber meets the road, so to speak, and we think that they got our back and we find they don't, that is a hurting feeling. It even compounds the particular negative situation you may be in or the sad situation you may be in. But you gotta then that's when you find out who's your true blue friend. When something happens, when a crisis happens in your life, or something happens that maybe is unfortunate or something that a mistake that was made or something was done, and then you find out the people that really care about you, the ones that call and check up on you, are the ones that you thought were your friends, and you can't hide nor hear from them, or the ones that try and stab your back. They get close to you, get all your information, and then they try to stab your back and take your position or take your spouse or take something that you have. You got to watch out for those people. Snakes. I was looking at a recent video, and I can't remember the name of the pastor, but he was talking about this lady that had a pet snake. And he said that the pet snake started sleeping in the bed with the lady and stopped eating. So after after however long days passed, the snake didn't eat. The woman got worried about the snake, so she took the pet snake to the veterinarian and said, "Look, my pet snake, he started sleeping with me, and he hasn't eaten in X amount of days." And the veterinarian said, "He sleeps with you?" He said, "Yeah." And she said, "He's not hungry. Well, he's hungry, but guess what he's doing? Is he's sizing you up. He's seeing how much it's going to take. So when you sleep, that he's going to try and eat you. That's why he's not eating. He's making room in his stomach to devour you. He's getting close to you to see how much effort it's going to take, how much energy it's going to take to devour you. That's what he's doing. And we have a lot of people, but guess what? They get close to us, trying to learn our secrets, our weaknesses, and with the intent of devouring us and taking our spot, taking our position, taking our spouse, taking whatever we have, taking our life, whatever the case may be. You gotta watch that. There are snakes out there, and that's what snakes do. Snakes are instinctual individuals, creatures, and guess what? They do what snakes do. They get close to you, they crawl around. Sometimes snakes can blend in with their environment based on what part of the country they're in, or part of the world they're in. And then when you least don't see them, that's when they drop on you. Some snakes are poisonous. They get you with venom, and they inject you with venom and it gets you a place where you can't move, or it slows your heartbeat. And then some are constrictors where they just grab around you, they squeeze you to death, and you can't breathe. So there's many different kind of snakes. They have many different kind of ways to kill. And that same thing applies to people that so-called gonna be your friends. Some may try and squeeze you to death, some may try and poison you, some may try and do all kind of crazy stuff and try to throw the rock and hide the hand, so to speak. You got to be able to discern whether or not a person is really your friend or if the person is a snake. So be aware of that. Um, Satan in the Bible, Satan pretended to be Eve's friend. He came into the Garden of Eden and he's like, "Hey, you need to eat from this tree right here, because if you eat from this tree right here, you know everything God knows. Why is he trying to hold you back? Why does he don't want you to know what he knows? You eat this apple right here. I've been eating it and I know everything. You eat this fruit right here, and guess what? You know as much as God knows." He had good intentions for Eve. Not at all. No good intentions at all. He knew what he was doing. He knew that it was going to disrupt God's plans and God's wishes, but he did it because he wanted to be the boss. He wanted what Adam and Eve had. He wanted to disrupt that peace and serenity just for the sake of doing it. And that's what some people do. They see something that you have or you want and they don't have it, and they're gonna mess it up. And sometimes we're strong enough to resist the temptation, but sometimes we go ahead just like you did and bite the apple. And then sometimes when you marry it because your spouse does something, you tend to do something. Oh, she does it. Well, I don't want to act like I don't want to cause no trouble. I don't want to cause no waves. I don't know no ruffles. I'm gonna go ahead and do it too, even though you know in your heart of heart, in your mind, that I shouldn't do it, but because your spouse is doing it, and you think that if your spouse doing it, it's okay, then I should do it too. Sometimes, yeah, the man and wife supposed to be as one, no doubt. Bible speaks about it. But guess what? If your wife or if your husband is doing something that you know is morally wrong, or you know that you really don't want to do that, then you got to be strong enough to be like, I'm not going to do that. I don't think you should be doing it either. But if you're going to do it, that's your decision. But guess what? I'm not doing that. If Adam would have done that, then things probably would have been a whole lot different. I know they would have been a whole lot different. But he didn't do that because he saw his woman Eve do that, and he took partook of that too. And guess what it cost him? We see what it cost him. So just because you pair together, husband and wife, I just reiterate, just because your wife is doing something, just because your husband's doing something, don't mean you have to do something. You got to be strong. Don't fall to the same trap or to the same trick um, that Adam did and that Eve did with the snake. But snakes sometimes they can take part truths. A person that's a snake, they can take some of the truth and then they can add it on and make it sound so good that you'll fall for it. That's what snakes do. That's what snakes do. They're treacherous and they are deceitful. Sometimes they'll make a lie sound so good that you'll fall for it, and then before it's too late, before you realize what happened, you're in a world of trouble, in a world of hurt. So you got to be able to discern. You got to be able to be able to determine whether or not this person is really your friend or this person is a snake. Listen to your gut. Um, learn to listen to God. God talks to God will talk to you. You just gotta ask Him and learn to listen. I listened to a sermon the other day in the car, and the man was saying that sometimes we serve so hard, believers, that we don't take the time to listen. You got to set aside time to ask God for things and to wait for His answer and to actively look for His answer. It's the same way when a newborn baby, when he grows up. My youngest grandson is will be 1 later on this month. He is growing and he is listening. He don't know how to talk yet, but he is listening because his parents, when we were talking to him every day, one day he's going to say something. He's going to say whatever word he says first, he's going to learn to talk. But he's listening. He's learning now. When you become a believer, you're just like that infant baby. You're new in the body, in the world of Christ. You got to learn how to listen. And God is patient. God is patient, but you got to keep learning how to walk, keep learning how to listen, keep learning how to talk. And once you learn how to talk and ask Him for what you want or what you need or the direction you should go, then God will give you your answer. Sometimes He'll do it quickly. Sometimes He'll do it a day or two. He'll do it on His time, but you will get your answer. You just have to learn to listen and don't rush the process. A lot of people that want to rush the process. As soon as they get done praying, they want the answer, boom, right then and there. It don't always work like that. God can give you message through dreams, someone that you don't even know or even get a connection or he don't even know what your problem is, can give you an answer. So when He gives you that answer, you'll know it because it'll hit you like boom. That's what I pray for. That's what I ask for. I ask God to show me this. I ask God to show me that. I ask God what can I do or what do I need to do? Blah 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 blah. Whatever the question may be, whatever the situation may be, if you learn to listen and if you have patience, God will give you an answer. I definitely believe that 100%. Another thing that people were snakes in the Bible, Delilah. Samson thought Delilah loved him. He he saw her and was captivated and had to have her and lay with her, even though he know that he should not have laid with her. Even though he was warned by his parents, and God told him there were certain women he's not supposed to ingratiate himself with or mix with or lay with or have any kind of relations with, but he didn't do that. And Delilah, with all her feminine wiles, whatever the case it was, and whatever she was motivated by, she tricked Samson. She nagged him. She said, "If you love me, you would tell me this, you would tell me that." Why did he not see this snake coming a mile away? I don't understand. If you know you're one of the strongest men or the strongest man in the world, and someone asking you what's the source of your strength, and you tell them, and then someone comes, it's the very thing you tell them, or if you bind my hands behind my back, then I'll lose my strength. Then you go to sleep, you wake up, and you get a bunch of people in your house trying to attack you and kill you, and you find that your hands bind up. Then why in the world would you believe that person that you told that? Because you know they're exhibiting characteristics of a snake. They're definitely exhibiting characteristics of a snake. So why did Samson even fall for that? I don't understand that, but he did. Just another example of a snake. A snake is treacherous, deceitful. They don't care. They want their objective, and they're gonna go through you. If they're gonna devour you, they're gonna look inside you up, see how much power, how much energy gonna take to devour you, or what they need to do to get you out the way so they can take your place. They're gonna do it. Another thing in the Bible is Saul. Saul pretended to be David's friend. At first, he was David's friend, but then he became jealous because God favored David, and God was going to replace David with him. He didn't like that. You're not taking my position. I'm the king. But he knew that God favored David, and when David did things, the people started favoring David, and that didn't like it, and he didn't like that. He tried several times to kill David, but God favored David and prevented him. And I think it was a couple of times he tried to throw a arrow or a spear at David, but God was able to move David out of the way or able to throw off his aim when he tried to aim at David, tried to kill him several times. But David was always a step or two ahead of him because God favored David. But still, Saul was a snake. David was the only person that could soothe the evil spirit that God put on him, the evil demon that God put on him to just cause him pain and just to punish him. But David was able to sing and play music that would soothe that demon and would soothe him and give him peace. And he still wanted to kill David. That's just how a snake is. A snake can't change. If a snake is treacherous, it's going to be treacherous. If a snake is going to be deceitful, it's going to be deceitful. And if David was trying to help him and truly had love for Saul, Saul still wanted to try to defeat him. Still was acting in that snake mode. So you got to make sure if you feel like you get a snake in your circle, if you feel like somebody is not truly your friend, if they have snake tendencies, they crawl like a snake, they strike like a snake, then it's probably a snake. If they struck you in the past, they're probably gonna sneak you in the future. If they struck you, bite you, or try to squeeze you in the past, constrict like a boa constrictor, they're probably gonna do it again. If you survive the first attack, and chances are there's gonna be a second attack. So make sure that you protect yourself. Make sure you distance yourself, and you make sure you identify that snake, and you act accordingly. Um, that's really what I got. All I got to say about that. We all have snakes in our life. We all have encountered snakes. But if you find someone that is truly your true blue friend, and you hold on to that person, you surround yourself with people because um, two heads and four hands is better than one head and two hands. If you have a village of friends, a village of Christians, a village of believers, then y'all can help each other and protect each other from the snakes of the world. Because as long as they're good, there's going to be evil. As long as there's light, there's going to be dark. So we got to make sure that we cover each other back in the times of evil. And right now we live in, I'm going to say it again, in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. Now's the time we got, as believers, we have to come together. Got to strengthen our numbers. There is strength in numbers. We have to provide the light in all this darkness, and we have to make sure that we identify snakes and protect each other from these snakes. And the ones that we can save from these snakes, it's our job. God wants us to save these people from the snakes, expose and his word to them, and help them develop a relationship with God. The same way we have a relationship with God, we should be trying to encourage other people, non-believers, or people who faith aren't as strong as ours. You should try to build them up, lift them up, and try to save them from these snakes, because the world is full of a bunch of snakes, and they ain't going nowhere. So let's make sure that we as Christians, as non-believers, do our part. So I want to say this before I go. If anyone comes to you, a non-believer or someone that doesn't believe in Christianity, and they ask you why you believe in the Bible, why you believe in God, this is what you need to tell them. I choose to believe the Bible because it's a reliable collection of historical documents written down by eyewitnesses during the lifetime of other eyewitnesses. They report to us supernatural events that took place in fulfillment of specific prophecies and claim that their writings are divine rather than human in origin. This comes from Pastor Vadi Bakum. He is someone that I was recently turned on about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I watch at least one or two of his clips a day. He is very insightful. He is highly intelligent, highly educated, and I listen to him. I really believe he is a man of God and that he is trying to preach the correct and right doctrine. Whether or not he's your cup of tea, but go on YouTube, punch in Vadi Bakum. That's his name, Voddie Baucham, Baucham. He has a lot of clips and sermons on there, and he is very, very informative. So I definitely, from my opinion, I definitely approve his teaching and his doctrines. So if this is the first time you've ever seen me on this channel, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe. I'm going to ask you to please hit that like button, that thumbs up. That helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, hit that notification bell, little bell beside whenever you subscribe. Click the one that says all, because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload here in the future. And also, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. If you leave a comment, I will definitely read it and get back with you. I definitely appreciate your support. I've had a few subscribers join me last week, and I thank you. And like I said, this year, 2024, I want to grow this channel. I want to get my subscribers up. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I can only do that with your help. So please share this with everybody. Please send it to one person, tell that person send it to one person, that person send it to one person. Let's keep the chain going. Let's get the Road to Wisdom channel to 10,000 subscribers. Until Monday, you have a fantastic weekend, and I hope that you stay safe, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.